Hello, and welcome to the Okie Outlaw Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bauman, and today we have a special episode where we'll be discussing what American people need to do to regain their freedoms. Before we dive into that, let me start by asking, how are you doing today? Jody Wanil. Hello, Chris. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Excited to be here and discuss such an important topic. How about you? I'm doing great. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have engaging conversations like this. Now, let's get right into it. When we talk about regaining our freedoms as American citizens, what do you believe are the key steps we need to take? Absolutely, Chris. To regain our freedoms, I think it's crucial for us to first educate ourselves about our rights and the Constitution. We need to understand the principles upon which this nation was founded and the liberties that were intended for us. This knowledge will empower us to protect and fight for our freedoms. That's an excellent point. Education is indeed the foundation for any meaningful change. Once we have that knowledge, what do you think is the next step? Well, Chris, the next step is to actively engage in our democracy. We need to participate in local and national elections, ensuring that we elect representatives who truly value and prioritize our freedoms. Additionally, we should voice our concerns and opinions through peaceful protests, contacting our elected officials, and supporting organizations that align with our values. Absolutely, taking an active role in our democracy is crucial. Now, some might argue that our freedoms have been eroded over time, and it's difficult to reverse that trend. What would you say to those who feel discouraged? It's understandable to feel discouraged, but we must remember that change is possible. We've seen throughout history that when people unite and demand their rights, progress can be made. It's important to stay informed, stay engaged, and never lose hope. Together we can make a difference and reclaim the freedoms that are rightfully ours. Well said. It's important to maintain hope and remember that our actions can bring about change. As we wrap up this conversation, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners? Absolutely, Chris. My final advice would be to encourage everyone to stay informed, question the status quo, and never be afraid to speak up. Our freedoms are not guaranteed, and it's up to us to protect them. Let's come together as a nation, engage in respectful dialogue, and work towards a future where our liberties are safeguarded for generations to come. Wise words indeed. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights on how we can regain our freedoms. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you, Chris. It's been an honor to be here and discuss such an important topic.